Well, I hope you've seen the first video that I put out, really testing this hero weight. Oh my gosh, it's windy. Really testing this hero weight against the Hero 7, which by the way is sitting right next to it right now. I am going to go up into mountains yonder. Wow, it's so windy. I wonder what this is gonna sound like. We're gonna head up there and I'm gonna cover all of the different things that everybody wanted me to cover in the last video as well. So we are going to be putting it on gimbals. We're gonna be comparing it on chest mounts when things get really rough. We're gonna try more bermy sloped corners. I'm gonna try different color profile, everything. So we're gonna head up there and hopefully answer all of your questions. And if you have any other suggestions, put them down in the comments. I'll see you up there. Right now you're looking at the beautiful Canmore sky. Hey, we moved, by the way. I don't think I've really told many people that, or anybody that, as far as on the channel, but yeah, we moved. You'll hear more about that later though. Yours?
Hey, I like your YouTube channel.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so while we're going through the flat section, before we get to the fun stuff, I'll let you know the settings. It is the Hero 7 Black, Hero 8 Black. They're both hard mounted onto a camelback sort of chest mount sort of thing. And they are both set to 4K Super View, 6500 Kelvin because it is cloudy right now. Flat color picture profile, raw audio, 2-channel, wind off, blah blah blizzwaz. Let's ride bikes. Woo! It's really greasy. We got a snowfall here, I think last night, and the snow is gone, but it's just like, yeah, really freaking greasy.
So this didn't really come across in my last test, but man, what a difference between the two flat picture profiles. Like the Hero 8 Black, I mean, the blacks are so much blacker on it. Like it really crushes the blacks, and there's more saturation, and it looks like even though I have the sharpnesses set to the same, it looks sharper on the Hero 8 Black image, which isn't necessarily a good thing for how I have it set up. Usually you want it pretty flat, pretty neutral, and then you add all the contrast that you want to it after the fact and sharpness and all those things. So it's already starting off pretty... Oh, PD just flew onto the mic. Sorry, everybody. Pet bird. So yeah, that's been pretty interesting to see. Like basically where the contrast and saturation is at with this Hero 8 Black set in flat, that's kind of where I'd have it. I wouldn't even touch it. I don't know. On a really contrasty day, that might become a problem.
All right, so what'd you think of that? Okay, so now what I've done is I've got both cameras set to wide field of view instead of super view. And because a lot of people like to run on wide rather than super view. I like super view, but I'm not everybody. So it's on wide, and what that also means is that I can turn on the high version of Hypersmooth 2.0 on the 8. As soon as you go to wide, you can have that extra stabilization. So we'll see how much of a crop it is from wide and what kind of benefits we get from that. Let's try it out. And also to compensate, by the way, because we're going on a wider or a tighter field of view, I've lowered the chest mount and I've angled the cameras down ever so slightly. So hopefully it'll be shooting past my bars. And so you should hopefully get some bars and some trail in there. Let's go.
Now this is really, truly impressive. Like there really wasn't much of a crop in to the wide format. And going to the high setting for Hypersmooth 2.0, I was really expecting more of a crop in, but there really isn't. Like there's not much discernible difference between this and the wide setting on the 7, but the stabilization is vastly, vastly better. Like, wow, that's huge. I think the biggest thing here is that it's handling the roll axis so freaking well. You know, like the claims of these GoPros replacing a gimbal, this is the first time that I've actually seen it where I'm thinking, well, maybe it can.
All right, so now we have, we have it set to two different things here. One, the windsock is on, and it's just a Hero 8 connected, hard mounted to my chesty strap. So windsock is on. and I can feel the wind. And also, I have it set to GoPro color instead of flat color now, so we can compare that too. Whoa. Whoa. Now it is a very flat day for light, so it's kind of best case scenario for GoPro color to not look like garbage.
In my opinion, GoPro color still just does not look very good. It really brings the blacks down way, way too much. And yeah, it's just too much of everything in my opinion. So I will not be using GoPro color after this.
Now, we are still on GoPro color, and we got a windsock on, and now it is on my single axis Noir Matter gimbal. See how that goes. And I really hope that this setup works nicely. Biggest thing with the setup before was I was using chest harnesses that were too floppy. And so I'm really hoping that this one, this Camelback one, doesn't flop. Woo. Lots of tight corners. Kind of perfect for that single axis gimbal. Because the single axis gimbal that I'm talking about, it only handles the roll axis. So leaning into corners keeps the camera flat. Ooh, greasy, greasy, greasy. Woo! Got a little drop coming up. Let's see what happens. Woo! Good times. Wow, that'll be a really good test, especially with the drop. And in fact, let's do a back-to-back off of that drop over there between the 7 and the 8. All right, now it's 7 next to the 8, and I'm gonna go off of this drop and try and land as hard as I can. See which one handles it better. Both regular hyper smooth, both on Super View.
Well, that looked like a draw to me. Let's see it one more time, just in case.
So now we are going to try maximum hyper smooth 2.0 boost. Man, it sounds like something SRAM would sell. The only real way that I feel like this could actually be of any use to mountain bikers is 1, standing here like this and just talking, and 2, doing follow cam. So the thing is, around here, I can't think of one section that's both really fast and straight. So we're gonna do the only straight section I know of around here with Beth in front of me. And I'm gonna have it set to this. So this is set to wide, and then hyper smooth 2.0 boost. And hopefully it's at the right angle, because the angle is gonna be the hardest thing. So with this sort of field of view, it's really more about the person in front rather than the rider itself. So Nate Hills, pay attention.
So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty tight field of view, but dang, that is really freaking smooth. Pretty incredible. But I also feel like if the light levels went down at all, maybe even a little bit beyond this, I feel like the image stabilization would fall apart really quickly with this kind of crop and that heavy of digital stabilization.
Right. So this trail is called Black Hole Chutes, and it's got some steep stuff, some really rough stuff. Yeah. Oh, like this is just bouncing me all over the place. My feet wanted to bounce off the pedals. It is, oh, pinging the rim. Oh, now that will be a good test. Oh, I love that section. My gosh, that's hairy. Okay, gets a little steep. This is cool. It's called black hole shoes because it's actually black hole. You're just like surfing down it. This probably won't look very steep. It's actually pretty steep. And it's loose, that's the thing. Really, really loose. Look at that. How cool is that? All right, steep, slashy. Oh, this way. I don't know where I'm going. Woo. I think we covered pretty much everything. I had a little sneak peek on the back a couple of times. It was looking good through pretty much everything, especially with this crazy chest mount and that single axis gimbal. What did you think was better, the 7, the 8? Which setup did you like better, GoPro color or flat or single axis gimbal? Blah, 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 blah. Let me know. Well, I hope that was good and helpful for everybody. The main purpose of this video was for it to be a guide, so that I just wanted to go through as many settings and comparisons as possible so that you can go and look through all the different settings and tests that we use today and go, okay, well, I typically, like a little bit more narrow field of view. And I'm telling you, like, yeah, if you go for the wide field of view with the Hypersmooth 2.0 boost, it's pretty impressive, really. Or even just like the high mode for Hypersmooth 2.0, not even with boost. That looked really, really good and definitely worth it if you like a slightly more narrower field of view. Yeah, I was really impressed, actually. Personally, I think the best setup is on the single axis gimbal and on 24 frames per second, 4K super view, all my usual settings. And so yeah, I was really pumped about that. And I do have links for all these things down in the description below. Some of them are affiliate links. So it helps support the channel. So go and check out those if you like. But that's about it for now. I'm really excited because this thing it's looking pretty good. And so now I can get on with just making mountain bike content with this new piece of gear. And I think it'll be really cool. There are other features on it that also really interest me, like the hyperlapse and the night mode, the night version of the hyperlapse. I think you can do some really cool stuff with it. So yeah, let's get out there, ride our bikes, and I'll see you in a few days. Cheers, everybody.